I'm Ashley Wagasback, feeding therapist, occupational therapist, and lactation consultant. Look forward to discussing all things feeding so that we can support you to bring your little one to their maximum potential so that feeding can be enjoyable for the entire family.
Are you looking for a community of other moms joining together to support their little one through the ups and downs of feeding and gross motor milestones? The Thriving Together community is just for you. Find us on social media at Instagram, Facebook, and www.sensorysolutionsTherapy.com to learn more. We look forward to seeing you.
Good day. Welcome back to another episode of the Feeding Solutions podcast. Today, my guest is Courtney Malveaux. She's been on my radar for quite some time, and today is the day that I get to bring her on, and I'm thrilled. So I'm going to introduce you. Courtney is the proud graduate of Nicholls State University, which down here we call affectionately Harvard on the Bayou, and she earned her Bachelor's of Art in Psychology and a Master's of Art in Clinical Mental Health Counseling. Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, Courtney brings her heart and resilience of her hometown in every aspect of her work. She's a licensed professional counselor supervisor and certified prenatal mental health specialist in Louisiana. Courtney's married to her college sweetheart, Marlon Malveaux Sr., and they have two children, Morgan and Marlon Jr. She serves as the Postpartum Support International Louisiana Board co-chair, a steering committee member of the Go Far Louisiana, and a member of the Louisiana Perinatal Commission's Mental Health Work Group. She's also a proud member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. and Thrive on the Bayou Community Service Organization. Drawing from her personal experience with postpartum depression and rage, Courtney is the founder and owner of the Balanced Mama Counseling Services, where she provides specialized care for mothers navigating pregnancy, postpartum, and beyond. And her work in the perinatal population is purposeful, driven by a commitment to ensure that mothers feel seen and supported and are empowered through every stage of their journey. And that's why I'm so thrilled to have you on. I feel like you meld perfectly with the whole point of this podcast, that they can for their families and then their children. So anyway, I am super excited that you are here, and I would like to just turn the floor over to you, and you can kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and
Of
your
course.
journey and your
Yes,
business.
yes, of course. Well, that small introduction was just so sweet. It just reminds reminds me, of my why, right? And like why I'm doing the work that I am doing. But I believe, as you mentioned, what kind of really encouraged me to like really specialize and focus on the care of mothers and their families is because of my own experience, right? Like though at that time I was a newer clinician, um, I guess I was unable to really identify that I was experiencing postpartum depression and rage. Like I could not make those connections. Um, and also at that time as well, there weren't any clinicians that were, specializing in this area, and we're still like building up,
Mm-hmm.
clinicians to kind of at least take the training or then eventually become certified in this area. But I've really been driven from my own experience and how I can best connect with moms in this space and in this transitional period, and also kind of give them a little bit more hope. Like it feels terrible now, but it doesn't last long. So that's just really been my driving force.
Mhm. That's so great. Yeah.
Mhm.
So definitely that helps when you have your own personal experiences. It definitely grounds moms. And I know it grounds me in my practice working with the families that I work with, because I've lived what they're going through. So I definitely understand. So as far as like the people that you're supporting, can you kind
Yeah.
of just give us a little bit more of an idea of what that population looks like?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's literally exclusively mommies in pregnancy and postpartum, because the work is so heavy,
Hmm.
and it requires much of my time and my attention. I specialize it in a way that that's been the bulk of my clientele. Of
Hmm.
course, I do like invite the support systems or support persons into the sessions to just kind of give them more insight into what their partner
Sure.
is experiencing.
Hmm.
Um, but as of now, like I don't offer, like counseling, couples counseling right now.
Hmm.
Because like I said, I'm trying to best support these moms and birthing people in this transitional space and really help them understand what's going on with their body, right? As well as this new identity that they're taking on, that they probably don't even realize that's happening. So that's ultimately the bulk of my clientele right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine. Um, it's such a special time in a woman's life and a family's life. And um, even if you're trying to grow your family, there can be all of these emotions that go around with, just anxieties or worries, much less if it's an unplanned pregnancy and then what that
That looks
entails.
like,
I mean, I've had both of that in my own family, like we were hoping to get pregnant and then oops, we weren't quite sure we were ready for this baby, but here we
yeah,
are. So again, like women that are under your care,
yeah.
like what does that look like? Like who
Mhm.
are they? Um, who
Yeah,
kind of gets into your world?
yeah, no, for sure. So, many of my clients are referred to me by, of course, clinicians where I've been able to establish those relationships, right? Like they refer to me from them, and also to directly from the OB clinics and the women's health clinics, honestly.
Good.
I've been able to really establish relationships with the OBGYNs, and that's local, right? Like the Bayou area,
Hmm.
and other clinicians that know that this is a specialized area, right?
Yeah.
So many of the moms that I help support or experiencing postpartum depression, anxiety, right? Like it's not just that. It's ultimately it's a spectrum of condition. Many of us, even I, did not know that back in 2017 when I had my first child. I was just aware of postpartum depression, anxiety, but it's many conditions which we can get into a little bit later, but it's a multitude of things that are happening to their bodies and to their experiences, like, and it's really hard to kind of navigate on your own. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So it's pretty, I'm going to say in quotes, pretty straightforward postpartum
Yeah.
depression, but like, okay, it's a spectrum. So what does that look like that maybe we aren't even aware of?
No, for sure. So it is postpartum depression, right? It is anxiety. It is panic disorder. There's
Hmm.
also OCD, right?
Hmm.
Trauma. Also just um, what is it? OCD, trauma. And, also too, a lot of people don't really realize as well as like bipolar disorder and psychosis.
Mm.
Those two are your most extreme cases where we have to immediately get hospital care. Like it's not anything that can be done in office or even through Zoom. Like we have to get mom to some care where she's safe ultimately when
Hmm.
psychosis comes into play. But many moms don't even realize that there's a spectrum of conditions that they are impacted by. They just know, oh, it's depression or I'm having some thoughts. No, let's look more deep into this and what's going on. Even
Right.
sometimes moms may experience OCD for the first time.
Hmm.
Like it's sometimes they think, oh, this been there, or this is something that kind of I've noticed before, but no, sometimes the experiences are in the postpartum period for the first time and they don't even realize that. So I
Wow.
try my best to just educate about this spectrum so they know um that it's serious conditions, right? It's not just
Right.
something that they can just ride out.
Yeah.
Like you need a support system that includes clinicians that really care and understand what you're going through. So I try to make sure that they're
Absolutely.
aware of that.
And it's not like you have to, oh, maybe I had some OCD tendencies before, or I was anxious natured before.
Yeah.
There's not it's I'm sure that does happen, like maybe those symptoms exasperate, but that's not
Sure.
always the case.
Not
It could.
always the case. Hmm.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
And it's scary
Yeah.
though too, right? Like it's a scary experience because it's like, what is it now? Now I'm experiencing, I'm in the postpartum period, but now I have to also deal with this other thing that's arising, that's coming up, with my
Yeah.
mental health. And that creates another level of maybe shame or just guilt around their experiences. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Well, interestingly, so I have four boys and then a daughter. My baby's my daughter, and we found out because I was in advanced maternal age for my fifth,
Hmm.
and for my mental health, I needed to like have a sense of control. So we found
Yeah.
out that we were expecting a girl, and my
Yep.
husband laughed. He's like, "We didn't need a genetic test to tell that you were carrying a girl. You were acting completely different than you did for the boys." And I had a similar experience after I had her, that the only place I felt safe was
Yep.
in my bedroom with her with the door closed. And I didn't have that with my boys. Like actually, like the only place I felt normal was actually to come back to work. So
Yeah.
like my mom would come with my daughter and I would come and care for some infants, and then like I'd go back down at a breastfeeder. I had to be back into like an environment that I guess I felt like I had some control over.
Yes,
So
indeed.
I did not seek support. So like at what point, talking about a spectrum, like at what
Yeah.
point does a mom seek, like what's those red flags for her that like probably
Yeah.
I could have benefited from your help back
Yes,
then,
indeed.
you know?
Yeah, no, sure. You literally mentioning to me or sharing with me that you felt safe as in your room, right? Like,
Mhm.
of course, for you, like if we're working together for you, I will help you um continue to utilize that environment to pull you out of that experience. But
Mhm.
that's not okay, right? Like you
Yeah.
avoiding engaging with your other children and your family as a way to feel safe,
Mhm.
I'll get a little bit more curious and get a little bit more insight and say, okay, what if this is becoming a more severe, postpartum anxiety where you're thinking,
Mhm.
oh, this
Mhm.
being in this room is a way for me and my baby to be safe. When in reality, no, it's what's going on in your mind, what's going on with
Right.
your experiences with you. So I'll
Mhm.
help you navigate that. But also too, like some of the comments that I'll hear from my mommies are like things like feeling disconnected from themselves, right? Unlike
Mm.
themselves, or just constantly worrying about the baby or their own well-being, just
Mhm.
feeling kind of unsafe in their own bodies, even difficulty taking care of themselves and the baby,
Mm.
you know, feeling so overwhelmed that you don't want to be bothered with your child or with your babies.
Mhm.
Also just those intrusive, like really repetitive thoughts of even harm coming to your baby, right? Like even
Mm.
getting curious in that as well. And that is so common that moms, they run so far away from it because it scares them in a way as well, right?
Mhm.
But when you have the appropriate care in place, then I'll help kind of normalize that and help reshape what that experience looked like for you, to kind of pull you away from that, to say, okay, this is what my experience is, this is what's scaring me, but I'm not crazy, or I'm not a bad mom, you know what I mean?
Right. Mhm.
Also too, just not sleeping well. Of course, you're not going to
Mhm.
really get as much sleep when you have a newborn, but when that sleep is so disruptive where you're staying up for hours at a time, that becomes more of a concern for me as well, right? Like it's you have and to really be honest with you too, Ashley, like the number one top treatment is sleep.
Mm.
Mommy has to sleep. We have to
Mhm.
safeguard her rest, right?
Good.
And,
Good.
and establish her care systems around how much sleep she's getting, whether it's
Mm.
2 3 hours at a time, as long as she's getting some rest. um Also just maybe some displeasure in doing things that you used to enjoy, and just
Mhm.
like the constant and frequent crying where you're feeling so overwhelmed you can't gather yourself. Like these are things I'm hearing quite often from my mommies.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's definitely a range
Yeah,
for
it's a
sure.
ring. Yes,
For
indeed.
sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Something that gets flagged in my mind often when I am working with a parent for the first time, like something. So infants who have feeding difficulties,
Yeah.
one of the things that they can benefit from is just increasing movement, like their own body moving, like the baby's body moving, which means that we have to take them out of swaddles, get them
Yes.
on their bellies. And one of the things that sometimes we talk about is supervised tummy time naps.
Yes.
That will sometimes trigger. I'll see, like, sometimes I've had moms that like start the tears well in their eyes. They get
Yeah.
really overwhelmed. And like what you're saying about like they're so preoccupied about the safety of their child that it almost like takes their breath away from them when I suggest taking their baby and
Yes.
putting them on their belly for a supervised tummy time nap. And so, I'm trying to just be more astute in recognizing when maybe I need to
Yeah.
hand your card to these
Yeah.
moms
Yes.
and
Yes.
say this is maybe a resource there for
Yeah.
you because it's a trickle effect for
Yes,
sure. That makes
indeed.
sense. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, and this is why I was even more excited that you even asked me too, is because when mommies even have to seek additional support for their children in ways of like when they're having tongue ties or
Mhm,
struggling to
mhm.
feed, that becomes a contributing factor to
Yes,
her mental health concerns, right? Like that's another layer of something else that she has to navigate. And it takes away
absolutely.
from that joy that she's looking forward to. So,
Hmm.
but what mommies don't understand, well, I wouldn't say even understand, but what mommies struggle to see is like having all of these different people in your support system, in your collaborative care
Yes,
helps
helps. Absolutely.
switch immediately. Oh, well, let me just call Ashley to see if I'm doing this right. Or
Absolutely.
let me just tap in with Courtney to see if I'm thinking about this differently, right? Like having us in their support system changes that trajectory and helps to help them see differently. Like, okay, yes, my baby
Mhm.
may need a little bit more support with their feeding, but I'm getting that support for their feeding. It changes that, so
Yeah,
it just
absolutely.
I see it
That's
differently. Yeah.
true. Yeah, no, for sure. So if someone wanted to begin the process of working with you, like what does that look like?
Yeah, I simply just let them know it's to reach out, right? Like
Hmm.
I have my like social medias and different things like that, and I for easy access, right, to the community.
Sure.
But sending a quick text, calling, emailing, like I love to have that access for my mommy to reach me just as easy as possible
Hmm.
because the way that I approach it, right? I love to see it in a way of like relationally very
Hmm.
much a strength based approach, like letting them know, like, hey, yes, I'm part of your support system, but you know you better. You
Hmm.
know what you need much better than I do. I'm just helping you organize that. I'm helping you see it a little
Hmm.
bit differently, and
Hmm.
sometimes even my moms they get a little bit overwhelmed with meeting consistently. That's okay as well because I'm meeting you
Hmm.
where you are and helping them understand that this does not last long at all. You get
Hmm.
better quicker with having
Hmm.
us in
Yes,
that support system makes a difference.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, sometimes these first steps are just so
The hard,
daunting.
yes,
And I relate to what you're saying of trying to just try like removing as many barriers as possible, like the inevitable like intake process seems to be like one of the biggest things that's a stumbling block for care. Just
yes,
because, we have so much information to gather before we can see each other. But after that, I'm like, look, even if we get
yeah.
to meet one
One
time,
time,
one time,
that's
you
it.
will have so much information to take home with you. And I'm sure that's very similar for you as well. And
Yes,
then,
indeed.
and
Hmm.
it's over like this,
Yeah.
like it doesn't have to drag on and on and on.
Mm-mm. It does not. And like recently though, I've had a client that reached out and said she just want to meet with me to establish that care, to say that she
Love
has a
that.
counselor that she can reach out to whenever she needs to. And that's a priority for me. That is what
I love that.
support even more so because as long as you know that you have your counselor on call if needed, that makes a
Yes.
total difference. You know what I mean? So and it allows you to like get that joy back that you're looking for
Yes.
in this
Yes.
period. So yeah,
Absolutely. Like feeling safe
feeling safe.
and secure, you can feel like you feel peace and you can be joyful because of
Yes,
that.
indeed.
So absolutely, absolutely. So What would you tell a woman who's considering care,
Mhm.
but someone who doesn't really know about this and all of the emotions that are already clouding, making
Yeah.
judgment harder?
Yeah.
What would you tell
Well,
them?
yeah, well, ultimately, just letting them know too, it's like they do not have to experience this alone.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a very common experience, but it's not normal. It
Mm.
is not normal for you to say that you don't want to be bothered with your baby. It's not
Mm-mm.
normal for you to feel like, oh, you're crying constantly and there's no relief. It is not normal to have these worrisome, intrusive thoughts and you're avoiding bathing your baby. Like that's not normal,
Sure.
but it's common, right? And
Yeah.
because it's common, there's specialized care specifically for you to help you see this experience so much differently and just provide you that connection that you already want
Yeah.
that you're looking for with your baby and with the experience of motherhood, and I even like to share with my mom again mommies, right? Like those that have
Yes.
maybe two, three babies and they get to that third or fourth baby and they're like, what is this? What is going on with me? Right. So letting them
Absolutely.
know that this is a safe space to explore the new you, um,
Mm.
that is around the experience of motherhood and get I don't know, just a different experience of yourself. And to feel better. That's literally my priority. Yeah.
And that the new you isn't necessarily like a bad thing. Like, I think that's beautiful, you know?
It's integrated. Like it's an integrated experience into who you was prior to even from conception, right? From like
Mm-hmm.
prior to conception
Mm-hmm.
into
Mm-hmm.
the postpartum period. Because I often hear that, like, I don't know who I am anymore. Of course not. Let's sit down and let's settle down for a minute. Let's kind of
Yeah.
explore that of who you
Yeah.
are from the perspective of prior to now having this little bitty human rely on you for all things. So like integrating
Absolutely.
those individuals. Mhm.
I love that. I love that. So what's some advice that you would give moms, a
Well,
mama yourself who's been through
yeah,
it?
yes, indeed. I would genuinely say to slow down, right? Like it's
Mm.
overwhelming, it's unfamiliar. But slow down and give your chance yourself a chance to really navigate this experience navigate this journey really from a perspective where you're able to like tap in with yourself. You know what I mean? Like it like I said before, it gets better. Um, it feels scary right now. But it allow the help around you also to just
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, just to feel differently about yourself in this experience because sometimes we have those supports that's not too far from us, but we're so anxious about how they show up and if they
Mm-hmm.
wash their hands, right? Or do they have a mask?
Yes.
Like all of these worrisome things that are
Yes.
rooted from anxiety, right? That kind of
Absolutely.
interfere with those supports that's needed. But all in all, I would say to slow down because it does get better, and this is your chance to really take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking, like you said, like one of the number one supports is like making sure the sleep is there.
Yep.
And it like the whole slow down aspect. I mean, that's something that I need. Like I am very I fail at it every day, but I
Yeah.
that's something that's very much in the forefront of my mind. Trying to find ways to slow down. But I feel like when, maternity leaves are 6 weeks,
Yeah.
8 weeks if you're lucky, if you have any at all, like our culture does not support that slowing down. It's like, how fast can you get back on your feet?
Yes,
Because
indeed.
you have to
Yes,
have all your ducks in a row because you got to put your clothes and go back and be your old version of yourself. And
that's so true.
6 weeks doesn't give you a whole lot of time to stop, process, slow down, take care of yourself, heal, adjust. Goodness gracious, you
Yes,
know?
indeed. Which lets you see really that it's a bigger issue, right?
Absolutely.
It's a systems problem, right? But when I am supporting my clients, or when these moms just reach out for care, um, prioritizing rest, I try to like help them kind of see who's in your support system, like who's in your circle of support, who's around
Mhm.
and sometimes they're not able to identify too many people, but they're not able to identify a few more where they didn't even think, oh yeah, I could ask my good cousin from, such and such, or I could ask this really sweet coworker that I have, like it's really
Yes.
helping them identify
Yes.
who these individuals are within that
Mm-hmm.
short period of time to
Mm-hmm.
provide you that support you need to feel better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So of course, it's a systems thing, but we have to work on
With
side of
it.
with
Absolutely.
that.
No,
Yeah. Hmm.
absolutely. For sure. For sure. Very good. Very good. Okay. So we know we can find you on social media. What are your social media outlets?
Yeah. So Facebook is my favorite because I can easily navigate that.
Okay.
But it's my Facebook is the Balanced Mama Counseling Services, and my Instagram is the same, the Balanced
Mhm.
Mama Counseling. But also too, I just want to give out my number if that's okay as well.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So 504-446-6410. And I love to receive texts because I usually get a quick text anyway,
Mm-hmm.
from potential clients. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me. Though right now I am limited with my availability due to being in school right now. I am prioritizing my clients as well, potential clients as well. So I don't want people to
Okay.
not reach out, but
Yeah.
um, I do have a lot on my plate right now, just a little bit.
Yeah. A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. And you had shared that you have some opportunities that are coming down the pipeline in the community. You want to
Yes.
mention those as well?
Yes, so I am part of the wonderful nonprofit organization called Walk with Grace. It was created by my fellow clinician, Latoya Boutin, who um, experienced some losses of her own, right? And she decided to create this organization to better support mamas in pregnancy and postpartum that have experienced loss in the Bayou area. So we have an event on October 4th. It's a luncheon. Um,
Okay.
that basically where we'll be discussing all things loss and how to best support mommies in that experience and families in those experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And also too, we host monthly pregnancy loss groups at the main library. The next one will be September 15th. So yeah,
Okay.
we're excited about that as well.
Is that the library, the main library in Thibodeau
In
or
home,
Homa?
in
In
Homa, I'm
Homa.
sorry. Yep, in
Yeah.
Homa, because it's so
No.
much bigger. Yeah, so much bigger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, very good. Well, thank you so
Of
much.
course.
This was such a wonderful conversation, and I know it's going to be well received. Um, because again, like it's something that it's crickets. You don't want to
Yes.
talk about it, and but it is so, so needed.
Yes, indeed. I just want
So
to thank you, though, just really thank you for the platform and realizing that we have to educate our communities around this.
absolutely.
The more informed we are, the better we can manage our own experiences. So this is really good.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time. And I can't wait to connect you with people in the community. So it was good talking with you.
Thank you so much.
I hope you found this episode on the feeding solutions helpful. If you would like more information, please follow Sensory Solutions on Facebook or Instagram, or you can always visit our website at www.sensorysolutionsTherapy.com. Thanks so much for joining today, and look forward to seeing you next time.